Hey YouTube, we are less than a week away from the end of the season. So new season, we were promised a big move update, but in my opinion, Go Battle League, the issue is not just the stale meta move update. There's bigger issues that go beyond that. And I'm going to talk about some ways that you can address some of these issues. So some of the issues, what they are, and some ways to address this issue from from most probable and doable to, I think, least doable. So the first one is Great League distribution. And the problem is, so they have made it, let me close that for a second. We know that they have made basically Ultra League and Master League very, very XL focused. You can't compete in Master League without XL in general. I have said that you can get by without legendaries, but you cannot get by without XLs in Master League. And Ultra League, it is becoming much, much tougher to get by with XLs. There are some, how about we put it this way? It's tough to get by without XLs and legendary / community day Pokemon. If you don't have access to those, if you're sort of newer to the game, you really can't compete in Ultra League. There's very, very few Pokemon in the top sort of like 50 that aren't either legendary, XL, or community day Pokemon. So that is the problem with Ultra League and Master League, which means your real only access to play is Great League. So the problem is I said this season they did a pretty good job of giving you a Great League or Ultra League almost every week, except for the last couple weeks you're trying to show. So you have 2 Great Leagues here. You have a Great League option here, a Little Cup here. So Great League or a Little Cup. So Little Cup's very accessible. So Little Cup, a Great League here, a Great League, 2 Great Leagues, a Great League Fossil Cup, again limited, but that's a Great League, and a Little Cup and a Great League. So basically for 14 straight weeks, you had an option for Great League or Little Cup. Now, I will say that some of these are limited, right? So you have Ultra League or Fossil Cup Great League, where it's basically like 8 Pokemon, which dominate that meta, right? So it's a very, very stale league, but it's available. The problem is these last 2 weeks where you had Master League and an Ultra League, right? So a limited Ultra League at that. And then you had a Master League and a Catch Cup, but a Catch Cup is, again, it is a Great League, but it's forcing you to have built specific Pokemon in the last 3 months. So again, if you've either built a bunch before 3 months, and you don't want to like waste your Stardust, you essentially have no option to play this league as well, right? So what they could do is just make sure that there is some variation of Great League every week, right? They did for the most part here, or Little Cup, but I don't know how, especially in the last 2 weeks, you do not have, not only Great League, you don't have Ultra League as Master League as well. So what I would actually do is redistribute some of these. What I would do is I would get rid of this, I know they love it, I would get rid of Catch Cup. I just think it's useless. I think the last 2 weeks of the season to grind should be Great League, Ultra League, Master League. These 2 weeks right here should be Great League, Ultra League, Master League. If you want to do another Master League week here, that's fine. But basically, anytime I see like 2 Great Leagues here, 2 Great Leagues here, like separate them. If you want to make sure that people have access to Ultra League and Master League as well, without just being Great League all the time, you can just always make sure that there's like an open Great League here with like an Ultra League here. And same thing with a Great League edition with an Ultra League, and then you have like a Master League here with a Little Cup, and then you have a Master League with like a Great League meta, right? So that always gives people the option to do a Great League limited meta there. So that is the first thing that I would change. The second thing I would change, I already talked about, is the 1 level, I'm calling it battling limit / reduced wait times. But basically what this means is it is just kind of, it's a minor issue until it's a big problem on Go Battle days. People get to Legend, the wait times are absolutely ridiculous, and then they tank down to like 2000 ELO, and then they beat up on newbies trying to play the game during a Go Battle weekend and just dominate because they're a Legend, and they go on a 100-game win streak and think it's hilarious. The argument they always say is, they always give 2 arguments. 1, I'm giving up free wins on the way down. Sure. 2, like the wait times are terrible up there. I'm not wasting my time there, which I agree, which we're going to talk about here. And then the third argument is, if you want to hit Legend, you need to beat Legends anyways, is the third argument. My counter argument is, when you're tanking this early in the season, like halfway through the season, against people in the 2900 ELO, they're going to hit legend anyways, right? You're taking against people who are probably competitive against you anyways. And then you're beating up on people who are trying to play on a day that they actually promote GBL. And it's a way to get people into it when you have like 3 or 4 times Stardust bonus and you have 100 battles a day and people are streaming and stuff like that. It's a good way to get people into the game. And then you have these legends beating up on those people. So the way I said to address this is make it that you can only play against people 1 limit above and below you. So basically legends can only face legends and experts. Experts will face legends, experts, and veterans. Veterans will only face veteran, experts, and ace, and so forth, right? So you always have that one distribution. And what that would allow you to do is basically it doesn't pool you. It will look for ELO directly, but it won't reduce you to like, if you're at like 3,400, it won't say like you have to wait for someone in the 3,300s. It's basically like if you're in 3,400s, legend or expert. Any legend, anyone that has the legend title already, or anyone who's got an expert title, you have a chance to face against. So that will queue up battle times faster, and that'll make the tanking issue less of a problem because you will only face people in your thing, and it will reduce wait times. The third one here is higher reward for leaderboard and ELO. This is another thing to help reduce the tanking is there are people right now in the 3691 is the highest. Even on the bottom of the page is at 33, top 500 is 3338, right? So there are a ton of people in the top 500 here that are above this 3250 threshold. So again, right now the threshold is 250 for each one, right? So you go to 2500, 2750, 3000 as legend. So you can do 2 things. One, as soon as you get that legend rank, you get like another tier of rewards, which you sort of do. You get the higher dust. Your other rewards don't change, but you get higher dust. But with that higher dust should maybe come better rewards for encounters, maybe XL candies for the like the second tier there, instead of just getting like TMs and Sinnoh candy, rare candy, and Sinnoh stones. You can add XL candies in there more often. And then when you get to 3250, then you can maybe start guaranteeing XL candies in that second or even if you want to make it the 4th spot, right? If you want to make it the 4th spot, that's okay too. Maybe get rid of in the 3250 range, instead of 3 rare candies in the 4th spot, make it an XL candy. And that would force people to want to push to 3250 and want to get those wins, because again, you need to get 3250 low, which is a hard thing to get to. And then once you're there, you can't just tank all the way down to 2000 again, because you're still going to be facing, if you introduce my first one, you'll still have to face against legend and expert players. So it's not as easy just to tank there, right? So there's the third option. We're going to get a little more sort of off the board now. These ones I think are a little harder to implement, but practice mode, I don't know how they cannot. This is harder to implement, but is it harder to implement? Everyone's been asking for a practice mode. Right now, you just have your 5 sets a day in the actual where it affects your rating. Everyone says, please make a practice mode. Please make a practice mode. It'll help you so many times. First, it helps if you yourself just want to practice with Pokemon that you're not used to. Now, I always say I'm one of the best Togedemaru users in the world because I love using it, but it is very, very, very tricky to use. But I've used it so many times that I know the in and outs of how to play with it, its matchup, stuff like that. When I showcase it on a video and someone uses it, they're like, oh, this thing is crazy to use. And it is. It is very tricky to use if you don't know how to use it. So practice mode would allow you to use something that you see like a YouTuber or Twitch streamer use. It would also actually help content creators and streamers, because again, I do 5 sets a day. My 5 sets a day are done by 7:30 a.m. because I do them at like 5:30, 6 a.m. and I'm done by 7:30. So I'm done for the day. I would definitely practice with Pokemon, and if I could, I would play more, stuff like that. So basically a practice mode where you can just play around, streamers can stream, give access to content. If you have more people streaming in this practice mode and more people putting videos in this practice mode, you will probably get more people watching, which will drive increased traffic to the game. And then you can focus on actually your only rewards and your only rating is in the actual 5 set per day as it is now. So I think that is something that would greatly help people improve their game because they'll be able to practice with Pokemon, and it will actually drive more players to the game because you can watch more and you can practice more without having to do that. And in the practice mode, what you could do is in practice mode in other games, you can use Pokemon that you don't have. So if they had a practice mode where they had every single Pokemon available, like 1500 CP, where you can like choose the move sets on it, that would be extremely fun because then you could try Pokemon that, again, I have most Pokemon in the top 100, but I don't have all of them. And to use like Emolga that I haven't built up, use Carbink that I don't have yet, like that would be fun. So to give people that not only to practice, but to use Pokemon that they don't have would be really, really cool. That one would probably be a little harder to implement, but I think it's possible. Fifth is an in-season tournament. And this is also sort of just like talking about rewarding people who have either hit legend or, I say legend, like a legend in-season tournament, because you have people who hit legend halfway through the season and like, I'm bored, I'm tanking, I'm just gonna screw around, whatever. So if you make an in-season tournament, maybe like the last like 3 to 4 weeks of the thing, I don't know how you do it. You do it either based on everyone who hits legend, or something like that. I actually have a 7th one to add because when I'm saying in-season tournament here, I'm actually just going to add to that and say this could be separate. This could actually be like a week. So if you want an in-season tournament, you can do it just like a show 6 pick 3 in-season tournament, or you can do like a GBL, just pick whatever. I don't know how they do it. They do it's tough to do a bracket because there are thousands of people who hit legend, right? So you have to do like an in-season bracket with like all that. So maybe it's just like you set a time, you set a 2-week period, and it's like whoever has like sort of or 4-week period, whoever has the best record over the 4-week period wins there. So it's just like a normal GBL, but just over a 4-week period, and then you get rewards based on your ranking there. Or you can do something more like unique. You can do like a show 6 pick 3 tournament. Again, that would be a little trickier to do. But show 6 pick 3, this could be like one of the weeks. I was thinking when I talked about Great League distribution, if you want to get unique, like do like a show 6 pick 3 for like a week or two, just to make it a little more outside of the box of what it is now, because it's pretty stale. And the last thing, which is very, very, very far out of the box, a lot of people probably would be mad if this came up. How about 3 charge moves? So there's 2 things that came to mind when I was thinking about this. One is people would be pissed off if I now have to spend another 100,000 dust and 100 candy on a legendary Pokemon for a 3rd move, or even like 75k plus 75 candies on some of these other Pokemon is a big investment. So from an investment perspective, you may be even crowding out more people. So a lot of people may be angry there. So maybe the 3rd move is free. I don't think they'd ever do that, but that's just something they would have to address if they ever did three moves. The other thing is, who would that make better? Now, you could argue, and I will argue, that you can actually just make Medicham better, because now it has access to Power Punch, Ice Punch, and Psychic. So whenever we can do Power Punch, bait move, or ramp up on a Steel and still have the Ice Punch Psychic for coverage. What my argument is sure, but I'm more thinking about the Pokemon that are stuck in purgatory in the 50 to 150 range that you just now boost. I mean, one, imagine Mew with having 3 moves, which is always fun. But more what I was thinking about is something like there's a couple Pokemon that came to mind. Surfetch is perfect. Glad right here because that's one of them. Because right now Surfetch is running Leaf Blade, Night Slash. But Surfetch also has access to Close Combat and Brave Bird. So can you imagine Surfetch that has the ability to have either 2 nukes and a bait, or like these 2 just normal moves, Leaf Blade, Night Slash for coverage, plus one of the 2 nukes, right? Gives that coverage there too. There was another one, something like Drapion, Drapion, right? You either run Aqua Tail, Crunch, Sludge. Both or all 3 are accessible, are strong. So if you have all 3, that would make that Pokemon better. Obstagoon, something like Obstagoon that has Night Slash, Cross Chop is fun, is good for coverage, right? But again, Cross Chop, not a great move on normal Obstagoon, and Night Slash is fine, but it's not amazing. Have a 3rd move, Hyper Beam, Gunk Shot, 2 sort of nukes. Having Obstagoon with a Gunk Shot that will give you coverage for the fairies. So you're never truly walled if you have some of these Pokemon. Again, I think I already talked about it in my other video. I think some of these electrics need coverage moves. This is more like actual move update because they only have access to Gyro Ball, Fell Sting, or Wild Charge. If they need like a ground type move to actually be competitive in this. Again, Dragonite, something like that. You have right now Dragon Claw superpower. If you can now add on a third move, Hurricane, or I guess Hyper Beam, but like Hurricane realistically to give you coverage for fairies. There's so many Pokemon that are just kind of limited in the 50 to 150 range that I think would actually be much stronger if they have a third move that can cover some of their weaknesses that they right now deal with. Now, of course, this would have effects elsewhere. I talked about Power Punch Medi. Same with like Poliwrath. You can now run with Power Punch, Ice Punch with like Dynamic Punch. Some of these won't be affected as much. Like Galarian Stunfisk doesn't really have like Muddy Water, I guess, would be like more of a bait move. Or Flash Cannon if you want to use it for like steel or fairies and stuff like that. But like, I don't think most of these top ones would get a bunch of them. Where's Azumarill on this list now? Because I think Azumarill is also one of the ones that came to my mind. It's at 33 now. Being able to run Ice Beam, Play Rough, and Hydro Pump would make Azumarill quite versatile and strong in this meta, just being able to hit everything with your bulk. Does Quagsire have a third move? Quagsire with Sludge, right? It's just like there's so many just sort of like fun third moves that can give you like great coverage. Brick Break is not going to really help figure out that much here. Defense Deoxys, again, would probably get a boost having Rock Slide and Thunderbolt, right? Because you would just have an option for almost everything. What does a Sandslash have as options for third? Like a Gyro Ball or something like that. So I just think that like a third move would significant. If you want to truly shake up the meta, I think a third move is the way to significantly shake up this meta. But again, there are problems with that in terms of accessibility and stuff like that. And I even truly thought about the full ramifications of like Power Punch on Medi with Ice Punch and Psychic. So maybe it would make it worse, but I think in practice it would probably make it better because you're just coverage. You have just so much more coverage on all these other Pokemon. But those are my thoughts on ways outside of move updates, nerfs, buffs, new moves to make GBL better. And the problem, not the problem with all these, but again, there's some very, very easy, but like the Great League and stuff like this. There's some that involve like just schedule. This is just schedule. The first is just schedule. The second, again, I don't think it's hard to do, but it is definitely some sort of coding that you would have to say you can only play against these two people. And then again, Niantic giving out more rewards. This is the carrot. We know, unfortunately, Niantic isn't great with giving carrots. Like they always go with the stick, but give people the carrot, give people more rewards, give people reason, like higher rewards, in-season tournaments, give people a reason to play the game and grind. And then a practice mode, again, I think would just be great for everyone because it would allow you to practice with Pokemon. It would allow you to watch others practice with Pokemon. It would allow content creators to put out more content. It would get more streamers opportunity to stream longer. So I think that would just actually just help traffic to the game and allow people who don't want to get like beat up hard in like the actual in their rating to just like goof around and like learn from it. So I think that would be fun. Anyways, that is it. We will see. I'm just going to post this on Monday. I had video for Monday, but I'm going to post that. I'm going to shuffle some videos around. So that may go to Tuesday and then Tuesday to Wednesday. Because I want to get this out because I expect the move updates in the next little bit. And we're going to learn about the new season. And then there's no point of putting out this video if we actually know news. So stay tuned for Monday. Yeah, this will be on Monday and then we'll shift stuff around. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.